Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
Jembadde itaita nsanza abasajja nga bagamba lwaki bala batukula Farida lwaki mukula abasajja
omusajja baba tebamukudde asanyuka busanyusi n'akuwa ssente kati bw'alaba nga tafunye kyayagala n'alowooza mbu wamukudde aba yazikuwadde oba tewamukudde.
Okay, Lydian, lwaki mwagala abasajja abakulu?
Nabo batwagala naye fetubagala lwakuba tubategekera future.
Okay, tutegekera future. What you say? For more insightful topics, yes, keep it the Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk. Remember, Snap Talk airs every Saturday, right from 6 to 7, with your girl Teddy Tenjo. But I never come alone. I come with the two beautiful girls. Meanwhile, we have a new home. I'm super excited. What do you think of our new home, Farida?
I love it.
I just love everything.
Yes, let's keep it the Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
You have got to get up pretty early to go do something. We are the Alternative Dig Talk. With our mobile studios, we are redefining TV presentation just as technology is setting the pace. We are blending our approach with fresh, perspectively designed breakfast show, The Mighty Drive, informative and entertainment show, exclusive and live interviews.
We President Museveni wadde juzi namulaba apima akawunga kilo 2 tasobola kalya nini bwaba alya kilo 5 oyannema okuliisa eggwanga ne bwe limundekera.
Njagala kwebaza the Alternative Dig Talk etuwadde kano ka Mighty Drive era n'abatuwuliriza bonna abali ku mikutu njagala basaba mugendo maaso n'okuwuliriza.
All given to you just a click away on your phone, tablet, laptop and smart TVs as we are streaming live on our social media platforms, on the road and on the go. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk. Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Munatsonyiwa muko ku lw'embeera eyo n'okubanga tukeereyemu olunaku olwaleero oluusi technology nga mukimanyi tuli mu ggwanga nga Facebook ekyali nzigala mpola so twagala okubanga tubasaba mutusonyiwe ku lwa inconveniences ezo. Mbadde nkyabagamba nti tubaniriza nno ku show ya mwenganzi bagiyita Mighty Drive ebeerawo wano buli lunaku olwa Monday paka ku Friday okuva ku ssaawa emu paka ku ssaawa 3 ez'okumakya. We break down having a conversation with this country, and that is exactly what we are doing today and what we do each and every other day. My name is Karuhanga Edgar Matthew and I'm your servant. Today I'm going to take you through the Mighty Drive show. Remember, today we have two guests in studios. We have Aisha Namugga. She is a lawyer and of course a councillor for Muhindo in Njeru municipality, and as well we're going to be joined by Mr. Dan Muhindo, who is the Jema Youth Secretary and Secretary for the Red Card Swarm. We're going to be talking about the youth participation in politics and how the political spectrum of this country is looking like after a tough and very challenging election that took place in, we had one in Mayuge, we had the other in Kayunga, and both races, the National Resistance Movement came out victorious, but the victory looks like it was at a cost, ladies and gentlemen. So tonight, or today morning, we're actually going to be talking about the youth participation in politics and what is wrong in with the political spectrum of this country. Why is it that the ruling government and the state has condoned, let me say, for lack of a better word, the use of violence in the election processes of this country? That is what we're going to be talking about with Aisha Namugga, who I've told you is a lawyer and councillor for Muhindo in Njeru municipality, and of course Mr. Dan Muhindo, who is the Jema Youth Secretary and Secretary for the Red Card Swarm. So we're going to be talking about the youth but in general right about now on the Mighty Drive show. Allow me first delve into the stories that have been making rounds all over social media and in the country and across the country. As we are speaking right now, the Ethiopian forces are evading Afar and Amhara. In fact, have already evaded, because as we speak right now, the Tigris or the people from the Tigray region have started to abdicate some parts of Amhara and Afar in Ethiopia. Jukira, olutalo luno lubadde lutambula oba lubadde lugenda mu maaso okumala kati omwaka mulamba okuva abasajja bali abatigre okuva mu part eya buvanjuba oba the eastern part of Ethiopia we basalawo okubanga basuulawo nga beekandaga nga bagamba bagala kutwala buyinza mu Ethiopia. Jukira bano baafugako eggwanga lino okumala emyaka gyali 27 bweddu, naye okuva olwo aba Ethiopia bagamba bano baali bamusibira mu bbwa, so bagezaako okubanga babeekutulako, naye abatigre okuva ebuvanjuba mu Ethiopia nabo balaga mbuno tebagenda kubanga bakoma obanga balekeraawo olutalo lwabwe olugenda mu maaso awo wennyini mu ggwanga erya Ethiopia. Abantu no bikumi n'ebikumi be baakafiira mu lutalo luno olugenda mu maaso mu ggwanga erya Ethiopia. So njagadde maybe mbayiseeko keeyo mpola mpola otukomawo ewaka bannakibiina kya NUP, National Unity Platform, ekibiina ekikulembera opposition mu ggwanga lino ekirina ababaka abakunukkiriza mu 6 mu palamenti yaffe eno eya 11, the 11th parliament. Abasajja bano bavuddeyo ne beekandaga jjo mu press conference we bayogeredde ku nsonga ezaali eyo ekayunga mu kalulu ako ke baafiirwa oba bo ke bagamba nti babbibwa, they were rigged of that particular election. Bagamba nti omukyala Harriet Nakwedde Kafeero yakulembera akalulu kano okumala akaseera kaali kawanvu, naye binengera ebintu gye byakyuka mu DR forms ze babala aba Electoral Commission, si ze DR forms zennyini ne bano ze balina abantu okuva mu NUP. Bagamba nti DR forms zaabwe ez'obululu bwabwe eza polling centers ez'enjawulo oba polling station ez'enjawulo ziraga birala ate abasajja bano ababala obululu aba electoral commission bo balangirira birala. So olunaku lw'eggulo babadde wali ku kibiina kyabwe ku ofisi zaabwe Kamoocha nga balaga obutali bumativu nga bagamba bo tebakkiriza ebyava mu kulonda. Abayogedde no babadde bangi omuli omwogezi w'ekibiina kino omwami Joel Ssenyonyi, then ne secretary general omwami David Lewis Rubongoya yayogedde ku nsonga eno. Twawuliddeko n'omukyala Harriet Nakwedde Kafeero yali yeesimbyewo ku kifo kya ssentebe ow'e Kayungo. Omukyala ono eyayisibwa mu ngeri etaali nnungi bwe yafuna ne ku bisago mu kalulu kano. Muli ne banne bennyini yali akola nabo baafuna ebisago ebitaali birungi nnyo nnyo. Ye akakasizza eggwanga nti akalulu kano be baakawangula era tebagenda kubanga tebakkiriza defeat oba okubanga ababbibwa akalulu kaabwe nga bagamba bakulembera akalulu kano n'obululu obusuba mu mutwalo gumu n'ekitundu. Naye according to the electoral commission no na NRM omwami Muwonge Andrew Muwonge yabakizaako obululu bwali tebusukka na bululu 6 kubanga omukyala Nakwedde yafuna obululu mutwalo 310 oba mu 108, then n'omwami Muwonge yafuna obululu mutwalo 310 mu 7 difference teyali ya bululu bungi naye nga bo aba NUP babiwakanyiza bino nga bagamba nti electoral commission yabali azamanya akalulu kaabwe nesobola okubanga ekaddibaga abudibazi mu ngeri eyo. Era nga tukyali ku kibiina kino ekya NUP tugendeko wali mu buvanjuba bw'eggwanga lino eastern part of Uganda. Abantu ba NUP excuse me, abakulembeze ab'ekibiina kino ekya NUP omuli abakulembeze ab'enjawulo mu eastern part of this country omuli Bigirwa, ndoza Moses Bigirwa ye mumujjukira oyo nno yeeyita nnyo yakuli national coordinator wa NUP mu eastern region. So yavuddeyo ne balaga obutali mumativu era mu kalulu akaali emayuge. Ate akalulu kano nno okuva mu ntandikwa yako akalulu kano tekaali kalungi. Electoral commission yafulumya ballot papers nga ziraga ebifaananyi by'abeesimbyewo nga ziraga n'essimbo zaabwe n'ebibiina nga bamanya akalulu katera okufaanana. Naye otunula mu kalulu kano oba ballot paper eno yali omwami yali yeesimbyewo ku tiketi ya NUP bamuteekako ekibiina kya NRM wa NUP nga balaga ne umbrella naye nga wano ku bbali balaga nti no wa kibiina kya NRM. Ekyaleetawo nno okwebuuza nti eno mistake yakoleddwa kagenderere ng'ekolebwa bano aba electoral commission oba kyesanze nga maybe it was a mistake nga bakola obululu buno. Naye okuva mu nsonga eyo kuba okuva mu budde obwo abantu b'e Mayuge bakaaba nti nabo bakubiddwa oba bayisibwa bubi nnyo nga bakakasa nti omwami gwe bayita RDC w'ekifo kino ekya Mayuge gwe bayita Gulume bali eno batandise okubanga bagamba mbu yakuba abawagizi ba NUP mu kifo kino ekya mu kifo kino awaali akalulu emayuge nga bakakasa nti babakuba mu mbeera etaali nnungi nnyo. So in that regard NUP yalaze obutali bumativu bwabwe era batuusiza nabo olukuŋŋaana wali Busoga ne bakakasa nti nno tebakkiriza nabo byava mu kalulu ako kubanga akalulu kaalimu enjawukana, kaalimu okutulugunya, kaalimu okukubwa abantu oba kibayita election violence. So mu abandabo olunaku olwaleero NUP yo wonna weeri ekaaba oba kibayita amaluma nti tebayisibwa bulungi mu kalulu akakafundikirwa emayuge ne Kayunga. Wonna bagamba nti babbibwa kyekisooka ate ekyokubiri nti baakubibwa emigo egitaali mirungi oba emigoba nte egitaabayisa bulungi. Omukyalo omu gwe nalabyeko emayuge eyo nga bambi embeera gy'alimu olabira ddala embeera si nnungi yadde ye ng'agamba omwami Gulume gwe mbagambye RDC w'emayuge yalagira abakuumaddembe oba abakwatamundu basobole okuba nga batulugunya omukyalo ono era engeri gye bamukubamu engeri si nnungi nnyo yadde teweesa kitiibwa oba teriisa nakabululu we bagamba mu lulimi lwaffe luno Oluganda. Eddakiika ziri 17 ezakayita ku ssaawa emu ez'okumakya. Muzikirize njogereko ku Archbishop wa Church of Uganda omwami Kazimba Mugalu ne Interreligious Council bavuddeyo ne balaga obutali bumativu mu kalulu akagenda mu maaso mu kalulu akagenda mu maaso wali Kayunga nga bagamba mbu tekaali ka mazima na bwenkanya kaali kalimu emigozo bano n'okutulugunya. It is in that regard that the Archbishop of Church of Uganda Mr. Kazimba Mugalu, who was representing the inter-religious council came out to, not condone what happened in Kayunga, actually to criticize what happened in Kayunga following the elections that were taking place, the NC5 elections that were taking place that were won, as I've told you, by the NRM leader, that is Mr. Andrew Muwonge, who won by over 31,780 votes right there in Kayunga district. So following that, the Archbishop has said this was not free and fair, and also called for a peace amid the elections. Kabagamba violence cannot do anything. Over violence tebaditi chekoze chamanyi in reducing these democratic processes. So omwami Kazimba Mugalu ye yavuddeyo n'asaba nti gavumenti yekuwe mu kifuba ebintu by'okutuluganya aba opposition n'okubanga carrying out election in violence and things like that, basobole okubanga babikendeezaamu era nga bagamba violence yade nnyingi yalabikiddwa oba yalabise mu kalulu ake Kayunga mu ngeri eyo etabadde ennungi. So in that regard, abasajja bano aba interreligious council bano nno be bakulembera amadiini ag'enjawulo mu ggwanga Uganda. Mulimu akulembera abalokole, mulimu akulembera abasiraamu, mulimu akulembera abapentekosti, abakatuliki na buli nzikiriza kino ekitongole oba ekibiina kibagattira wamu. So bavuddeyo n'eddoboozi limu nga Archbishop Kazimba Mugalu yaba representinga ng'akakasa obutali bumativu bw'abantu okuva mu paati eno okuva mu kibiina kino ekya interreligious council. So bavuddeyo ne basaba nti nno twekube mu kifuba tulabe engeri gye tunaaba tukyusaamu eggwanga lyaffe mu ngeri ennuŋŋamu oba ennungi. Ndowooza tugendeko mu mawulire agasembayo wano. Kenya nno Dubai, in fact, Dubai ebaninze ennyonyi eziva mu Kenya, that means Kenya Airways tegenda kubanga flying to Dubai okumala ennaku 48 hours following the increase of COVID-19 cases. Wetwogera nga ku bantu 15,000 abakebeddwa mu Kenya, abantu 1,372 1,372 cases have been registered of COVID-19 omuli nno ne variant eno gye twabadde tuwulira gye bayita the Omicron variant empya gye bagamba mbu yo etambula emirundi 5 okusinga ku viruses zino variant endala ze tubadde tulina eza COVID-19. So abadubayi bo bagambye tebagenda kweteekera kiri mu Kenya, ne basaba Kenya esooke ewummuzeemu ennyonyi zaayo ezibadde zigenda mu ggwanga lino okumala ennaku 2, olunaku olusoose olunaku olwokubiri lugenda kubeera lwanca, nga balaba kiki ekigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga lino erya Kenya, balabe engeri gye bareassessinga oba gye bakyusaamu embeera. Jjukira Kenya eno yaggulawo ikonomi yaayo, tewakyali kafyu, tewakyali mateeka gonna, nga bagamba nti bo ekirwadde ekya COVID-19 baali bakirinnye ku nfeete. So bo baggulawo amaduuka gaabwe, baggulawo ikonomi yaabwe okubanga baddayo ku business as usual. So kyekyo kigenda mu maaso. Olunaku lw'eggulo nga mmaliriza twabaddeko wano n'omwami gwe bayita Gregory Mugisha Muntu, ono akulembera ekibiina kiri ekya Alliance for National Transformation. Omwami Gregory Mugisha Muntu yabaddeko wano ku program gye bayita The Hotline Show. Yabadde n'omwami Comrade Tifu nga banyumyamu nnyo ku mboozi ku show eyo eya Hotline. Natwagala okubeebaza mwenna abalabye abagisubiddwa nno ku page yaffe ekyaliyo ne ku YouTube eyo, osobola okubanga oginoonya ojja kubanga ogiraba. Naye yayogedde ku bintu eby'enjawulo, yayogedde ku ba LC3 ne ba LC5 councillors, nayogera ku ba mayor, era ne bamubuuzaako kwani gwosobola oblaminga. Nagamba when asked about who to blame for not having any MP, he said the NRM government made research and designed strategies to weaken other parties. For their case, the NRM wanted to portray ANT as no party, and they deployed all strategies okubanga babalemesa. Yayogedde ku byaba MP okubanga tebalinayo MP yenna mu August House, ne bagamba mbu NRM nno ye yali mulemesa omwami ono Gregory Mugisha Muntu. No yayogedde ebintu bingi sobola kubanga mbimalayo, naye nga mu abataalaba show eyo mugende mukebere ku page yaffe, Facebook page, munoonye show gye bayita The Hotline Show gyeri paka saa zino. Yabaddeyo olunaku lw'eggulo akawungeezi k'ejjo ojja kubanga ogiraba oba olusoogera ne ku YouTube wali oba toyagala ku buffering na bintu webityo nosobola okubanga nayo ogiraba. Twabadde ne Gregory Mugisha muntu yayogedde ku bintu yadde byanjawulo wano era yatuwadde ku study yabadde ennungi nnyo wali ku the hotline show. So mwenna ababaddeko olunaku lweggulo mwebali nnyo mwebali eddala ndowooza bannaye katuwumulemu katono bwe tukomawo tugenda kubanga twogera n'omwami Dan Muhindo. Ono nabagambye avudde mu kibiina ekya Jema era ye youth secretary era ye secretary wa kino kibayita red card swam omugendo ogwa the red card swam ogwagala okubanga gujja president Yoweri Kaguta Tiwalula Museveni mu buyinza ng'omwaka 2026 tegunnaba akutuuka. Ekyo ekibuuzo kyetera okwebuuza nti bano abakulu aba red card swam banaasobola okubanga abajjako president Yoweri Kaguta Tiwalula Museveni eyalema nno abangi oba bagezezaako mujjako okumala emyaka kati gikunukkiriza myaka 36 nga yakulembedde oba yakutte enkasi y'eggwanga lino erya Uganda. Katumulemu katono we tukomawo Mighty Drive egenda kubanga etandika mu butongole.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Nze omubejja luwedde Lilian mbaniriza maka gaffe amajja era nga wano tugenda okubanga tukolera programu yaffe emanyiddwa nga The Voltage. The Voltage gaba masanyalaze gennyini era nga twogera ku bintu ebyenjawulo omwo nno mwe muli ebigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga, ensonga z'eby'obufuzi n'obukulembeze bw'eggwanga Uganda, twogera ku nsonga ez'abavubuka, eddembe ly'obuntu awamu n'ebyenkulaakulana. Togisubwa buli lunaku olwokutaano eba ssaawa emu ey'akawungeezi paka ssaawa 3 ez'ekiro.
The Diaspora Link buli lwakuna sawa 11 paka sawa emu ey'olweggulo ye program gye tukuleetedde wano ku Alternative Digital Uganda. Tugenda batutunulira embeera z'Abannayuganda baganda baffe bannyinaffe zibawangaaliramu mu mawanga ag'ebunaayira. Bangi banyigirizibwa, bangi bakosebwa, bangi bayisiddwamu amaaso. Naye tugenda batutunulira engeri gye tusobola okulongosaamu embeera zaabwe. Tugenda kuba tulaba abo abakwatibwako abateekeddwa okuba nga balongoosa embeera zino eno. Tosubwa buli lwakuna n'omuweerezaawo Nixon Segawa.
Hello everyone, my name is Abdulatif and I welcome you to the Hotline Show here at the Alternative Dig Talk as we discuss issues of national importance. Join us every Monday 7 to 9 p.m. and see who will be occupying these seats here with us. Keep it Dig Talk, real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Yes, welcome back from that short commercial break. My name is Karuhanga Edgar Matthew. You are still watching the Mighty Drive Show. As I promised, we have Mr. Dan Muhindo, who is a Jema Youth Secretary and a Secretary to the Red Card Swam. He's going to be talking to us a bit from now. And maybe just to correct, Aisha Namugga is on her way and she's going to be joining us soon. But she is not the councillor for Nyendo, as I had said. She's a councillor for Nyenga in Njeru municipality, that is in Boyikwe district. So I would love to apologize on her behalf and on my behalf as well, that she is not from Nyendo, as earlier said. She is from Nyenga. Nyenga in Njeru municipality, that is in Boyikwe district, in the eastern side of our country. So munansonyiwa muko manyi ebitibwa by'abantu okubyogera in a right way. Maybe to just remind you, tugenda kubeera nga tuli wali ku PFT press conference ku Katonga Road ku office ya omwami retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besigye ku ssaawa 4 zennyini tujja kuba wetuli. Press conference egenda kubanga etandika, tugenda kuwuliza biki bye batugamba. Olunaku lw'eggulo twabaddeko wali ekamwocha nga nawo tuwulira ku press conference ya National Unity Platform okuwulira biki bye badde bagamba era twabibaweereza butereevu. So kyekyo kyennyini kye tugenda okukola olunaku lwaleero. Tugenda kubeera wali ku PFT ku Katonga Road nga tunyumyamuko ngo batuwulizaamuko bakulu abo biki bye banaaba batugamba. So ku ssaawa 4 zennyini mubeereko, temubeera distracted, temubeera distorted. Press conference egenda kubeerako awo ku page yaffe, page The Alternative Uganda, that is on Facebook ne ku mikutu emirala gyonna, ku Twitter gye tuli, ku Instagram gye tuli, ku YouTube gye tuli, ku TikTok nayo gye tuli at The Alternative Uganda. Bannayekanyalize omwami Dan Muhindo, tugenda kubanga tukozesa olulimi Oluganda. Dan Muhindo is comfortable in English, so we shall use the English language. Mr. Dan Muhindo, you're welcome to the Mighty Drive.
Thank you, please.
How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good morning. Say hi to our viewers.
Oh, thank you. All viewers who are watching Digitalk, the alternative on Facebook. Thank you so much for the support. And I would wish to thank the proprietors of this platform. And thank you for so much focusing into the youth and giving the youth such a platform.
Yes,
I appreciate that because for the past days, when we talk of the traditional media channels, it's not easy for a youth to access the airwaves.
Yes,
but thank God that
it's very costly.
That people are coming up with such platforms that can be afforded by the youth. In fact, I'll be glad to hear it that I'm freely being hosted here. I've not paid any penny for it.
Yes.
Therefore, it's worth appreciating for. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just to reiterate for the people, we do not charge on inviting people here to speak their minds or to tell us things that are going to build the country. We feel it's more of a service that we're doing to our community and our country at the end of the day. So it's okay, and you're welcome, and feel at home. Just because today we're going to be talking about the young people, and maybe for just clarity, who is Dan Muhindo?
Dan Muhindo is a born of Rwenzori region, Kasese district, the mighty, I call it the Pearl of Uganda, because we have one of the world's 3 salt lakes in my place.
Yes.
Then we have mighty things in my place.
You have game parks?
We have game parks too. That's Queen Elizabeth, Mount Rwenzori National Park.
Yes.
Then we have Mount Rwenzori itself, the snow, Margarita. We have the rivers. We have everything.
Yeah.
I tell my place the Pearl of Kasese. That's where I was born.
Oh.
To Mrs. Birateda and Mr. Muzora. I'm a paralegal and a law student at the moment, a law scholar. And I'm the Youth League Secretary for Mobilization, Western Uganda, that's Justice Forum. Then I'm the Secretary for the Red Card Swam, the youth wing of the People's Front for Transition.
Yeah.
That's Muhindo Dan.
Okay, one would ask, how does someone from Jema blend into the Red Card Swam? Why did you decide to join these people?
We decided to join these people because of the cause. The cause we are all fighting for is regime change. And when I talk of regime change, I don't merely talk of regime change. Regime change is a slogan for our fathers and mothers because they've fought enough. I think they're exhausted. But as the youth, I believe it's a generational cause, because if we don't take up arms and fight, I don't mean the arms,
the real arms,
but I mean if we don't come up and fight for our country, in the end we shall have nothing to leave for our children, because everything is almost gone. So it's high time we come on board and fight for the cause. That's the reason we as Jema youths are with the front, because their cause is one, regime change. And regime change, to me, is a generational cause. If we cannot fight for this, we shall have nothing left for us, because almost everything is in a limbo.
Yeah,
almost everything.
Almost everything is in a limbo. Those are statements of Dan. But Dan, one would say you are going after a challenge that many Ugandans have failed. And maybe before even go to that, the Jema has been said to be people who lack, for lack of a better word, clarity of mind. They always jump onto something new. When the People Power was out, Jema was the first party to join People Power. That is on record. And then after failing in the election, 2021, you are jumping from People Power. Now you are at the PFT. And we're going to see you if DP starts something in 2024. Won't you jump from PFT then to that other cause?
What you are jumping to is not something new. It's the usual.
Okay.
And the usual is fighting for regime change. Jema jumped with People Power for what we believe in. So when People Power came in, we saw need to be part of the cause, and we pushed it. So when things came out like not we expected, the front came in, and we decided to go with the front. But I will not say that we jump in to every new vehicle.
That is what you're doing. It's what you're doing. I'm sorry for putting you on the spot, though.
It looks like it's like what we are doing, but it's not what you're exactly doing. What we are doing is the ideology. Whoever comes with a good ideology, we go with you. And in that way, if you two adhere to what we believe in as Jema, then we are good to go. In fact, I'm proud of that, because Jema is a neutral ground.
Yes.
That puts it to be the best political party in the country. We are the neutral ground. Everyone trusts us and believes in us. So I think it's better of us. It shouldn't be viewed in the otherwise that we are political prostitutes. I'll use such a hard word. We are not. We are not. I think that's what some people try to bring before the people, that we behave like
because you fail
political
you fail to show us what ideologies stand for. You stand on other people's ideology. What ideologies does Jema stand for as a political party, from you as a youth coordinator for this big and great political party, I would like to add?
That's a good question. The reason parties come to us is because we have a good ideology. The party is called Justice Forum. Then we have a slogan, Jema, which we have famously been known for. Jema are 5 initials. J, E, E, M, A. The first J stands for Justice for All.
Yes.
The E is economic revamption. The other E is educational refertilization. The M is morals. The A is African unity. So when you combine these 5, that's every country's cry. The reason I subscribed to Jema was the M and the A, the morals and African unity. Because I believe that if we have the morals, we shall have the African unity. And once we have the African unity, we shall have the justice.
Okay.
Because you cannot do an injustice to a brother. So these parties come to us because of our ideology.
They come to you, you don't
go to them. They come to us, we don't go to them. So we decide to accommodate them because of what they bring on table. And what they bring on table is the regime change, which we all yearn for. Because we believe that once there is a regime change, our principles and ideologies, our beliefs can be worked on. Since the state, the government, not the state, the current government has failed to
These days, just to correct you, the state and the government are like the same in this country.
Yes,
though it has to be totally different, but they are the same.
That's why.
Just for clarity.
That's why it also confuses me, because the state and government have merged.
Yes,
in fact, lately, if you asked, what is the president's title? someone will be quick to say M7. I'll give us a case scenario. Someone will say, I saw the Kenyan Museveni on TV, referring to the Kenyan president. Why? Because many things have been blended together. The state, the government, the person of the president,
and the ruling party as well.
The ruling party. So there is a lot of fracas in the affairs of the state, which I consider the affairs of the heart. So that's the reason JEM as a party accommodates whoever comes with a tactic or a theory or a principle or an ideology we believe can cause change.
Okay.
We subscribe to that person with a better position or a better ideology. There are many coalitions that have been coming to us, and trust me, we have rejected them, and our rejection has caused them failure. They have not even surfaced.
Isn't that an overstatement? You're saying your rejection has caused them failure. So if you are part of them, you would win.
Yes, if we are part of them, they would be in a better position than they are. That's what I mean.
Okay. Well, that is awesome. Mr. Dan Muhindo is the youth coordinator of JEMA, and he is with me right here. He's a youth secretary, sorry, of JEMA, and he's here with me. We're talking about politics, and still talking about politics, maybe to just bring in something small. We've seen what happened in Kayunga, what happened in Mayuge for the just recently concluded LC5 and LC3 elections, marred with violence again. And I'm reiterating again because we have seen this violence taking place over time now. And maybe to just speak your mind, Dan, what happened to our country? Where did we reach a point where violence is the order of the day when it comes to the political spectrum or the political activities in this country? And violence, mind you, is netted out to the opposition members. It has never been netted out to the people in power. Where did we go wrong as a society?
Where we went wrong as a society, I will first request
yes, sir.
To distance myself from your last statement that yes, the statement is right. They associate violence with the opposition.
Which is true.
That's not true. They promulgate a situation that will indicate the opposition to be the masterminds of violence.
Okay, that I did not know. How?
You have to know it now. Since the government, no, the state, since the ruling government has resources, they will be able to ferry goons from the city. You know the city has the most notorious and vulgar goons. They will ferry them from the city ghettos to the polling areas so as they can disorganize the process. It's very easy. They have the money, they can buy the t-shirts. So someone will identify himself as part of you, whereas he's not, just to fulfill his mission.
Yes.
That's it. And what's the root cause of this? The root cause of this is because we've had a shift in the mental orientation as a youth. When I talk of the youth,
mental orientation,
we have had in us, in our brain, we've been fixed in us the other version of the reality. We have been indoctrinated into some other kind of world which is separate from the reality. How?
Oh.
The politics of Uganda has been patronized, one. Second, it has been commercialized, that once you have no resources, you cannot fend into any electioning activity or process.
Yes.
Therefore, this has denied potential leaders the chance to exhibit their skills. One. Therefore, we end up having goons in offices. So these goons use the offices badly. When they use the offices wrongly, that's how we have such results. They will lead and gain popularity basing on a propaganda way of politics.
But they say you are the masters of propaganda as the opposition, not you as Jema. Opposition is the master of propaganda. That is what is being asserted in the different corridors of power.
It's what is being asserted due to propaganda.
So it's also another propaganda technique of saying that you have propaganda.
Yes, because they have resources. You know, you cannot play that game of propaganda without resources because it's a game of numbers, fellowship. It's numbers and fellowship generally. When someone has the numbers, has the crowd and fellowship, then his idea sounds to be the right one, whereas it's not. Therefore, the opposition has no resources, by the way.
Just to add...
so it cannot afford politics or propaganda.
Just to add, Twitter recently turned off over 100 accounts, inactivated 100 accounts, saying that they were pushing a certain narrative for the ruling government. So it was like a calculated syndicate on how to spread a narrative that has not actually been there, and these accounts were all fake and were all linked to one individual. So it is in that regard that I just wanted to say that you are right when you talk about it. Yeah.
Thank you for the observation.
For the propaganda, yes.
Thank you for the observation.
And we use facts. So many people say that generally sometimes you are biased, but these are facts. And Twitter has come out, it's an international platform, it is not from here. Yes, so you are concluding with your point?
So, we've ended up having such a situation, a chaotic situation, due to that.
Okay.
That the right people with the right reasoning have been denied offices due to the situation the current government has created.
Okay.
The education is expensive. Therefore, education will be for the limited, for a certain limited class. In other words, I term it an ideological, I mean a genocide.
A genocide?
I call it a genocide.
Yes, please.
They have positioned some people to a level that they will not be able to acquire anything good in this country. That's why we have all this. So these people are easily manipulated and easily used. I'll give an example of someone who cannot afford university tuition for their children. That means the highest their children will go will be high school. So what fate lies ahead of this child, this boy?
But one would say the literacy levels have increased over time. We've seen people graduating up to universities. Maybe the problem is with unemployment. Don't you think so as well?
The problem is unemployment because the literacy levels might be increasing,
yes,
but the quality
of the education.
We
are fourth best in Africa now.
We are fourth best. We could be fourth best, but there is the latest. There is an NGO, Wezo. It conducted a literacy survey in East Africa. The latest I knew of is 5 years back, and we are doing bad in East Africa. We are the worst. So, and I've not yet conducted the other one. So that's the last results they have. Therefore, I think we are not good. We are bad, very bad in fact.
We're not okay.
We are not okay.
I'm seeing here Brooke Williams saying that NRA uses a lot of resources for propaganda, so he wants to agree with you. And maybe he says that it's true, majority of our people are ignorant. Do you believe in him and what he's saying, that majority of our people are ignorant?
Yes, I agree with him.
Isn't that an abuse, one would say?
It's not an abuse. I am glad someone said that. In fact, the level of ignorance in Uganda is increasing. It's even higher than the days of our fathers. That's after independence. The reason I say that is because at the moment, we have ignorant, educated people. They are educated but still ignorant. Why? Because the system has been that. The system you go through will not allow you to have an independent mind, number one. you'll be indoctrinated into things that are unrealistic. So in the end, we end up having illiterates. We are ignorant. That's the reality. Someone who cannot analyze facts, someone who just goes by what he sees on TV, someone who will tell you, no, the president said, the minister so-and-so said, and someone will not go ahead with checking with the facts, making some research, making comparisons. So
is this the problem with young people?
Yes, that's the problem. We lack the knowledge, and we are gladly relaxing on our ignorance.
Okay, at 48 minutes past 7 a.m. we have been joined by Miss Aisha Namugga. She is a lawyer and as well a councillor for Nyenga in Njeru municipality, that is in Buyiko district. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
I don't want to throw you into a bus, you've just come. Maybe let me first conclude with you as you take a breath. Maybe to just pick your mind, before we leave the PFT, many people have been asking here, sending me direct messages that you are saying you are taking power before 2026 as the red card swam, right? Yes. You want to oust dictator Museveni, as you like to call him, out of power. But do you think this is something that is practical?
It's practical, very practical.
Because it seems impractical. For 35 years, you've hustled with this guy and you failed to take power from him. What gives you the audacity of thinking that in the next 5 years you will be able to take him on?
What gives me the audacity to say that is that the past tactics were not working. So we've come with new tactics. Case studies, we have the crisis. We've tried to design the crisis so that every Ugandan can know of what crisis we are, what we'll be talking of when we're talking of the crisis. Therefore, we believe that once the Ugandans are fully equipped with the knowledge of what Uganda is going through, they will wake up.
So they don't know what we are going through?
The truth is, Ugandans are still feeling comfortable. They don't know. Because if they knew, they would have risen up and taken action. Therefore, they don't know. So that's why we decided to publish this first. After it has circulated and the people are aware of it, then we shall come with the so-called transition agenda. How now? How are we going to oust the dictator? Like I've told you, we came with new tactics. This is one of them. That we decided to do things that will impact the people mentally, that the people will be able to understand what we're exactly talking about, not airing things out of the blue, bringing new things people have not heard of. No.
They're talking about the things they know.
We want to talk about things they know, and these two books will guide them. The crisis and the transition agenda. It's after they know the crisis that they will wake up and say, how do we make a transition? So these two books are one of the tactics we are going to use to oust the dictator.
Okay.
Just one of the tactics. We have
many
millions and
yeah,
millions of tactics.
You always tell us that you must tell a mpola mpola. Namugga Aisha, tukwaniza nnyo ku maitiro y'ebinyago.
My apologies for coming this late, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we are glad that you are able to join us as well. Maybe for the benefit of our viewers, who are you, and just tell them a brief background about Namugga Aisha.
Well, Namugga Aisha is a lawyer. She has also recently just joined politics as a woman councillor, and hopes to thank you, and hopes to gain a lot from politics, and hopes to also make a change. And probably I'll be listening from people like him and other people so that I can contribute to what is already there, and probably also introduce something new, new ideas to the development of our country.
Maybe to just find out which political affiliation are you in, maybe?
Not affiliated.
You are independent?
Yes, I'm independent, but most people look at me and say it's definitely NRM because there is a perception that most independent candidates are
lean towards NRM, yes.
Yeah, but no, I'm not affiliated to any political.
So where are you leaning then?
No, currently no, because I feel like the partisan system is best in a way. When you affiliate to a certain political party, people expect all your views and all your opinions to align to that political party.
Yes.
So every time you open yourself up and you don't align yourself to the political party you belong to, they're going to wonder, does she really belong to that political party? So I would rather stay independent and open my views, just state whatever I want to state, the way I want to state it, without feeling the need to align myself or my ideas to a political party.
Wow, that's a very good idea. But maybe to ask you, you came into a political game, you're new, you're an independent, and you're a female at that. So one would ask, how have you found the politics so far? Because some people have lost backs, some people have felt uncomfortable, many people have been imprisoned, and they've had a bitter taste in the political spectrum of this country. How have you found it so far for the time you've been in power?
To be honest, for the time I've been in power, as much as I would not want to align myself to a political party, I found a bit a difficult time being an independent candidate, because most of the time when you stand up and you want a backing, the backing will mostly come if you are affiliated to a certain political party. If you're not, people are not going to want to listen to you, because they're always going to wonder, will she maybe be on our side if it's our time?
Can we trust her?
Can we trust? Actually, can we trust her is the biggest. Can we trust her? The opposition is, but can we? She may just be hiding in us. NRA means, but can we? So that really it's a thorn. It's a thorn in my growth and development as a political leader, because every single time there is hesitation, there is a lot of pull and pushing. It's a bit difficult because I'm not affiliated. And then there is also the issue of I'm young, so it's difficult to stand up, like as much as you will stand up and try to express your views, they are not going to immediately want to listen, because they're going to wonder, what does a young person, have to say? What are you telling us? What new thing do you have to add? And most of the time when I actually stand up, they're like, hey baby, singa tuwabibulira daffe tubaddewo for a long time, kiki ekipya kyokoze ki kyoleta. Yes, so it's a bit difficult, but I know I'm a very resilient and persistent person, so I'll make it.
You look resilient and persistent, but you also look young, and don't you feel those stereotypes? Women, what is this girl going to do for us? Those things.
A lot, definitely a lot. Because when I became woman councillor, I was so fired up, you know. I was so fired up. So the first time we were electing speaker for our council, and I immediately took interest. And I got so many phone calls. What is wrong with this girl? She's new. Why doesn't she just let the old people come in? In fact, the old people even called me and they're like, no, Charlie man, I'm top. You have a lot of time to, you have a lot of time. And I was actually suppressed to the ground. They told me, no, give chance to the old people. So I stepped down. I came as deputy speaker. And still, because singira mutoke, and they still refused, So they still refused to vote for me. I lost by 10 votes, and I was not going to give up. I was still not going to give up. So they separate us into committees. I was given the Health and Education Committee, and I still came up. I said I want to be chairperson. I want to be one of the only female chairpersons, because we have 5 committees, and there was only one committee which had a woman contesting. So I was contesting among 4 other men, and the women were just silent. And the sad thing about the women in the committee was they didn't take my side. I mean, we were only 3. You would take a woman's side. But they were, no, she's young. There's nothing she's going to do. There's nothing she's going to bring to the table. She's young. Actually, the only thing they were saying was, she's young. There's nothing new.
There's no valid reason, but they're just saying you're young.
And everyone was, because the manifestos were, I'm old, I've been in the system, I know how the system works, I'm going to work with the system, but you've been in an old system that has proven time and time again not to work. Why don't you let us, the new ones, come in and maybe try to change? They refuse. You're young. You are, you know, so yeah. It's the young thing really has.
Okay, we always have that rigid mind, but maybe in a minute, because we're going to go for a break, to just find out from you about you look to be a soft-spoken person, and we know the politics of this country is for those ones who are up there, agenda, things like. How have you been able to lure people to your side, but being with a persona like you have? I'm thinking.
With the persona I have, it has helped me stay and observe. I'll sit, I observe what's going on.
Yes.
You notice people's weaknesses. Everyone says what they want to say. They make all the noise they want to make. And then you come out. You come out, you expose them for the weaknesses they have, and you make them see why they don't need another version of that person, and they need a version of you. Okay. They need to give you a chance. Because, for example, my deputy speakership, I did not campaign at all. In fact, people were even shocked I got the votes I got. I didn't campaign at all. I just stood there when they were proposing people. That is when I came up. I was like, let me come for deputy speakership.
Yeah.
So it helps me sit back and observe, because they don't expect it from you. So when it comes, they're shocked, and yeah, it really helps. I use the element of surprise. So you just bust out.
Okay, thank you so much. At just 1 minute to 8 a.m., ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to start off the discussion of young people and their participation in politics. Why is it that many young people are shining away from politics? And if not, some have even, paid a deaf ear to the political problems we have in this country. And many people have said, it is not me to be there. Let the Zakes, the Chagulanyis, and other people who said they are going to fight, let them fight. Why is it that we don't have enough youth participation in the political gimmicks of our country? My name is Karuhanga Edgar Matthew. I am with Aisha Namugga and Mr. Danny Muhindo, right? Thank you so much. Muhindo. Yes, Dan Muhindo. So let's take a short commercial break. When we come back, the Mighty Drive continues. Good morning.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Nze omubejjalu wedde Lilian mbaniriza maka gaffe amajja era nga wano tugenda okuba nga tukolera programu yaffe emanyiddwa nga The Voltage. The Voltage gaba masanyalaze gennyini era nga twogera ku bintu ebyenjawulo omwo nno mwe muli ebigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga, ensonga z'ebyobufuzi n'obukulembeze bw'eggwanga Uganda, twogera ku nsonga ez'abavubuka, eddembe ly'obuntu awamu n'ebyenkulaakulana. Togisubwa buli lunaku olwokutaano eba ssaawa emu ey'akawungeezi paka ssaawa 3 ez'ekiro.
The Diaspora Link buli lwakuna sawa 11 paka sawa emu ey'olweggulo ye program gye tukuleetedde wano ku Alternative Digital Uganda. Tugenda batutunulira embeera z'Abannayuganda, baganda baffe, bannyinaffe zibawangaaliramu mu mawanga ag'ebunaayira. Bangi banyigirizibwa, bangi bakosebwa, bangi bayisiddwamu amaaso. Naye tugenda batutunulira engeri gye tusobola okulongosaamu embeera zaabwe. Tugenda kuba tulaba abo abakwatibwako abateekeddwa okuba nga balongoosa embeera zino eno. Tosubwa buli lwakuna n'omuweerezaawo Nixon Segawa.
Hello everyone, my name is Abdulatif and I welcome you to the Hotline Show here at the Alternative Dig Talk as we discuss issues of national importance. Join us every Monday 7 to 9 p.m. and see who will be occupying these seats here with us. Keep it Dig Talk, real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Well, 3 minutes past 8 a.m. Welcome back from that short commercial break. You are still watching the Mighty Drive show. I am with Aisha and Dan, and we're talking about how we can involve young people in the political gimmicks of this country. Just to remind you, we are going to be live streaming the press conference that is going to be at Katonga Road. That is the PFT press conference that is going to be there at 11 a.m. So 11 a.m. sharp, we shall be with you right there at Katonga Road as we're talking to the people from where he represents, Dan Muhindo, that is the PFT, and it's something, I think it's their new baby, and they say they're going to be taking power that is before 2026. Is it practical or it's impractical? We are still here, me and you, and we shall be viewing from afar to see how far will they have gone. And you can also join the discussion, drop in those comments on Facebook, the pages at The Alternative Uganda, and on Twitter, I'll be reading some of you. The hashtag is The Mighty Drive, so feel free to use that and just comment, ask any question, and we shall be able to answer you in real time. And also, you can call in live. The numbers will be rolling on your screen. The MTN is 0789 017 145. The Airtel is 0759 2310. So feel free to just call in live and ask any question that you would want or make any comment, and we shall be able to address it in real time. Still going back to Aisha. Aisha, we're going to talk about the youth participation in politics, and you are a youth, you've participated and you've succeeded, and you have yourself an office. For starters, that's a very big achievement, by the way, congrats.
Thank
and
you.
Maybe to just ask, there are very many young people out there who would want to take part in politics, but they have failed. We have seen young people shunning away from politics, and especially after what happened in 2021 when they were all enthusiastic, saying, hey, agenda, we're winning. We saw that energy. Everybody was thinking President Museveni is not going to last another day in presidency. But he came, he won, magnanimously, I might say, and he's now the president. But many young people are now withdrawing from politics. Where did we go wrong? What do we have to do? Where do we start from as young people?
The first problem I actually saw with our youth is that sibalonzi bawagizi.
They are not voters,
exactly.
They are supporters.
Exactly, that is the problem. So you'll see in the noise they make, they are very, very loud. So they'll cheer you on, they'll lead you, and when time comes, when you really, really need them, they are not going to be available. This has been seen maybe intentionally, maybe it's done intentionally or not intentionally. Because as youth, we've been left aside, we've been ignored. Because maybe they oversee us as people who just make noise and people who are not really impactful. Maybe they are used to just silencing us. So people have lost interest. People have lost interest. And even when people are campaigning, they don't really focus on how to bring back the interest of our youth in the political systems. So, sorry, the political rallies and the whole situation.
Yes.
So when it's time for voting, the lines are going to have old people.
And they vote, by the way.
And they vote in big numbers. I mean, you'll see old people on the line. You'll see the youth rallying people to go and vote. But the youth are not voters. So they're going to make so much noise. But when time comes to vote, they're not going to vote. And even the youth, for example, I'm going to use an example of my area.
Yes.
My area's youth are people who work a lot. They're very hardworking people. I'll use subject of people, the youth that work in stone quarrying. This youth, ogenda bagendamo, during campaigns and they're going to be on your side. When time comes for voting, they're going to ask themselves, they're not interested because they've been shown from that they're not going, whatever they do is not going to impact.
Their vote does not count.
At the end, they're going to do whatever they do and they're just going to be silenced. They're going to be ignored.
But isn't that a challenge of the system? Because we feel like it's the system that has sidelined these young people to make them think that their vote doesn't count. But in fact, does it even count?
Because, I mean, you are a voter. But the system may be, yes, but push back. Don't allow only to be pushed. Because if the system is saying, your vote actually does count, because once you become a voter, your vote counts. But they're not even going to take the step to come and register themselves. When time comes, it is running out. Time is running out. They're not registering people anymore, and that is when they're going to remember that maybe I should have registered myself to vote or something. Okay, so maybe it could be a split, the system and the youth, but the system has pushed us, and we are not pushing back enough. We are not pushing back enough.
Okay, maybe to bring in Dan. Dan, what happened to the young people? You are a young person, by the way, and we are all young people here. And maybe to just also add, the young people came out and tried to vote in 2021, right? In January, they tried to vote. Why is it that when they tried to vote and they were won, I feel like they have ditched the struggle? Because that's what the young people now understand. Struggle to ajivako, in Rusoga. Where do you think struggle
The youths voted in 2006 for Dr. Kizza Besigye. The youths voted 2021 for Jagulanyi Robert Sentamu.
Yes.
Principal, NUPI, I call the respect. But what comes after this electioneering process is what turns the youths off. You vote, and in the end, your expectations are not met. But again, we know that when you're going into the field, expect a loss or a win. So what rekindles the enthusiasm, the spirit, is it's a creature of the system. In school, we are taught citizenship, how to be the duties of a citizen. It's in primary. Citizenship, the duties, everything, blah, blah.
Do they still teach those things, by the way? Because I feel like Babi Jawo.
Yes. But when you grow up, you will not see the fruits of citizenship. By the way, as I speak now,
yes, please.
I'm not a victim of, I'm not a beneficiary of the so-called Uganda's independence, but I'm a victim of the so-called Uganda's, of the nightmare Uganda independence. Because I would be comfortable if I was going through this fire, passing through it in the hands of a colonialist, other than passing through the fire in the hands
with
of
a
my
gentleman
own.
With the same color, your skin, and the same language.
So the system has made the youth hate everything, because that we are socially excluded, like she said. We are not called upon. We are not called upon in anything whatsoever. I'll give a scenario. Mukaulwa kawedde. I'm a Mkonjo guy, but I've been in Uganda for quite a good time, so I can bring my small Uganda. Mukana kaulwa kawedde. Bayuthi bavayo nene twejumbira mu bintu byokulonda ne tukola zi campaign, pushing ebintu ku social media, wawa ne twambala zi t-shirt, enkofira ne tuzaba nake nyinyi ne bifananyi wano nga ne enkofira ni na overall o combat red army bichi. Naye bwe twatuka mu kulonda, by the fact that government oba Mr. Museveni ne bakyaliibe bajjako internet, ekyo kiba kiraga nti ffe temutwagala muki mu process ya kalulu, kubanga youth yenna
security.
It's not security.
In
fact, it's insecurity. It's insecurity because wano wayinza okubanga waliwo ploti y'abayekera nga nze njalala bule ggwanga gwate ng'onzigyeko So it's an insecurity itself. By the Museveni should be careful.
Okay.
With all due respect, I respect you as an old person. Oli mukulu. You can be my granddad, my dad, and I'm an African. For Africa, abantu abakulu tubawe ekitiibwa omuntu omukulu omanyize mu culture yange. Nawe banga muli ku mukolo omuntu omukulu nafulumya omuko omubi. Ng'omwana
gwaswala
so nze ndi mwaka kantu Mr. Museveni kwekitiibwa naye ebimu in fact ebisinga you've begun provoking us to disrespect you. Omuntu bwokola obutini the coward moves. Bikolwa bya batitizi.
But ajja kugamba all countries in Africa isinga zichikoze in Malawi bachikola bajjako in Burundi here our neighbors bajjako internet in Tanzania internet yavako.
Those are coward moves. In fact, Africans are very proud in making the rotten statistics. I'll use that word. In the Mobutu times, Mobutu Sese Kumbwendo was a banger. In Congo, there was a political theory that had never existed, the so-called cryptocracy. It arose. Cryptocracy means the leadership of thieves. Obukulembeze bw'ababbi.
Ate kati nze nabo kitegeeza cryptocracy kisukkawo kisukirawo naddala.
That's when it developed. That's when it developed. Kwegamba mu politics, mu world politics, in the regime of Mobutu came in a new slogan or a new slang or a new vocabulary. A new word was added into the glossary of the world politics. Cryptocracy.
Yes.
Mobutu Sese Kumbwendo was a banger. Yes. Then Uganda, we've emulated that.
Yes.
Lately I watched Julius Malemo on YouTube. Julius Malemo on YouTube. He was breaking down the statistics of the country with soldiers on the streets. And these are countries that have illegitimate governments. Uganda was #1. He included his South Africa. It had just enrolled on the list. Thereafter,
no, so those are your politicking. Yes.
Africa is good. African leaders, in fact, are very perfect at making bad statistics. They go in for the bad. I think I don't know whether they think that maybe that's the only way to go. But there's a better way, I believe. So they should change their mindset. Mr. Museveni, stop torturing us. You were tortured, I know it. You passed through the harsh days. The politics of your days was a bad game. You survived assassinations. You survived the cold nights. But enakuyo, don't extend your enakuyo to us. Enakuyo to you're like these friends, Noverako friends. The ladies so much do that. That when a lady goes bad with the boyfriend, even the friends will take the side.
Yes.
So Alinga, that kind of a person. Tikubanga yabona myaka jabwe babona they survived assassinations, politics yali mvundu, nga you cannot freely speak. This ain't the era, nigga.
Okay. He's speaking as a young person and he's using the N word. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe to come to you, Aisha, do you think violence as well has deterred these young people? Because, for example, you've seen what happened in Kayunga, what happened in Jeru, in Mayuge. In Mayuge, there's a lady who was beaten disastrously bad. She's a lady, for crying out loud. But when you looked at how the security operatives treated her, it is something that is really, really degrading, first of all, to a lady and a shaming to a country like ours. Do you think this election violence as well has maybe affected youth participation in politics? Aisha?
Actually, when you look at violence, most people who have suffered violence are the youth.
Yes.
And I don't think you can rightly say violence has deterred their participation, because irregardless, you see them coming on the streets time and time and time again. During elections, we were even stopped from coming to town. We were stopped from coming to town. Actually, so many people didn't come to vote because we were stopped from coming to town. But some people actually still persisted. So it may be for some who are actually scared of being
many that are scared, Aisha.
Yes, true. But actually most ababasinga they are old people who have like a lot to lose. Most youth feel like tusibe chimu, like let's just go echibawo chikolechi chibeyo. For some, I would only say for some, it isn't violence only, it is the lack of interest. It is not violence because you're going to see youth balemirako even
and olemerako naye nga kyolabo ki naye onalemerako otyanga olabye 50 battiddwa in broad daylight paka south twali justice yali abaweereddwa 1 year down the road. Olowooza omuntu anakkiriza okuddamu omuvubuka agende ng'ayalabye munne nga bamunyize nga basse n'abaana abato. Really?
Aren't they still coming though? They still are.
But they are skeptical. They feel that come. The majority stays back. The minority comes.
They're still coming. You saw that video that was making rounds about the lady who was at Parliament, Ngaita Kadaga.
Yes.
My child, Bamokubie, and she had a lot of people rallying around her. You'd think that people seeing that violence that happened would actually just run away and hide. These people actually came back. Badja. Violence is not the only thing that is stopping them.
Okay.
Violence is definitely.
Maybe let me just pick some comments here. We have Nyanzi Desire. He says, however much we have the existence of good institutional and organizational structures for effective youth participation, Ugandan youth lack the critical resources in brackets economic and civic to draw on in order to participate meaningfully in political processes. This has subsequently made them vulnerable to political manipulation by political elites in the country in today's highly commercialized Ugandan politics. Now he brings an aspect of money. Agamba akasente nako kainengeje kaba affects avuka. How true are these statements from Nyanzi?
This is very realistic. I think I brought such a narration in our first talk.
Yes.
That commercialization of politics, then we lack the knowledge. We are ignorant elites. We are ignorant, educated. I will give a scenario in the concluded elections. We had a number of youths who were willing to run in as candidates, but they could not afford to even pay the sums that were designated for the nomination
fees.
So, I personally believe that leadership should be based on ideology, on what you think is right for your people or for the country. Therefore, if the intelligent ones have no money, the fools, I'll use such a harsh word, the fools with the money will access the offices.
Sure.
So even when we have the offices, that the platforms that are designed for the youth, they are taken out by the wrong persons. Then second, civically, we are civically not educated to the right. We have a crisis in our mental orientation. The system has created it. No wonder today, when there is any crisis around, even along this road, let's assume there is a ditch, you hear someone saying, government ejeyambe, President Museveni jangu. Why? Because Museveni has portrayed to be that. When
he's the epitome of power
and everything, giving out money in sacks, doing what? He's the only way out. That's what the that's why they have put in us.
System yafuka
ya muntu. So in the end, you find that even some opposition youth leaders or some opposition youth members are working hard to meet the president.
We saw that in NUP. Some from, was it northern part of Uganda? They crossed and they went to NRM. A few months down the road, they came back home. They're like, so we've
been oriented in that manner. the kind of education, the education system was better, but it has been shaken so as to fit the interests of the current regime. So you find that we have people who are not civically aware of their rights. Someone who doesn't know that it's upon you, the incumbent, to make your society better. I'll give a scenario. I went back home. I come from Kasese. My cell is Rusese. I'm in Bondoribia Town Council, that border municipality. So when I reached at my town, a dog had died by the roadside. It had taken close to 2 days because it was already smelling. So this town is where we chill, you know, we know as the young boys. We be bored indoors, home. So you decide, let me go meet friends, can have a cup of tea, cup of tea, those who take beers, 1, 2 beers, stuff. So I said, but gentlemen, aren't you hearing what is smelling? They said, no, it's not our work. It's the work for the town council. My place is a town council. So what I did, I asked for a help from a neighbor, I would not say I was smartly dressed, but I was fairly dressed compared to them, because in Alimva Muchibuga, of course. If you know system here, because what classes are,
by the way, there's classification in this country.
Even when you reach in the Chibuga, there is uptown, downtown, then there's that ridge, you mid town, between downtown and uptown. So nakwate nkumbi n'ensima n'enjizika. Bwe namala ogizika n'enkoma onetula n'etunyumya. So bwe twanyumya, some guy said, musajja kyokoze kirina kye kindaze era nange olangenda kikola.
Kegamba alabidde kuggwe.
Alabidde ku nze. So if the would-be mentors have not showed us the right path to go, what do you expect of us? That's the import of that. Nze ndi mwana muto nena mulaga nekola actions nagamba
bikola bino bitulina okufollowinga bino.
Naye bamentazi baffe ogenda okulira amama yalidde za global fund.
Waliwo yalidde yazagga ez'abalwadde. Ate we are shameless in this country, even steal from the sick. Maybe to bring in Aisha. Aisha, I want, before you add on that, yes, I want you to also talk about the finances, because I want you to give us your thought, because you came into office.
Yes.
And you must have used a lot of resources, I'm thinking.
Yes.
And so first tell us your personal process and maybe talk about the money as well. Wateka mumeka, walaba omuvubuka aliyeyo, asobola omala gaziteekamu ssente ezo mu politics bw'atyo. Ate olowooza ssente zitu affecting at the end of the day, political participation y'abavubuka?
Political participation, ssente, everything, honestly. Actually, fenga abantu, we've spoiled the system. Kuba in Uganda, I wouldn't even say in Buganda, tuine ngombo ya onde sotia. This is everywhere. It is everywhere. Ate in politics, it's even worse. Everyone will ask you, na ye kansaro tule sotia. Kozotia. In fact, even when you call them to spread, to disseminate something that is going to be of value to them, bagenda vaunga bemulugunya natuitira just kumimabubi atulese just ngalo tedi chatu wadeyo. It's going to scare people coming to help you, because they're going to be like, I don't have enough funds. How am I going to? The system is already broken. I don't know how we're going to fix it, but we're going to try. Naye onde sotia has been a problem.
Well, it's a mindset problem.
It is.
It is a mindset.
It is. Like he also said, because that government to Yambi, that thing bothers me a lot. It bothers me a lot. Because when I was on the campaign trail, there were roads we would go through, and honestly, if a community just kwekunganya, with the help of their political leaders, maybe we contribute to hose or something unclear and work on the roads. People were just waiting for government to work on also those inside routes, because we actually did some Bulunjibe Gwanga on some of the roads. But I don't think people should have waited for that long political time to do their own roads, those inside pathways. But you know that is the actual problem. You're not going to wait, because the people you're waiting for are also doing some of their own other things. So financing honestly has really deterred the youth from taking part in politics because they don't have money. They contribute the biggest percentage to the unemployment pool. So tebalina sente naye ate these same youth bebasinga okugamba otule sootya. Exactly. So it's that is actually intertwined in my journey because I saw it as a very big problem.
Was there a lot of money you invested in that election?
I would not take credit entirely for my financing of my. It was a team. It was teamwork because I entered politics when I was fresh out of school. Just finished LDC and I joined. So I can't say it was entirely me. Because I had meetings, yes,
there was.
Yes,
and it must have been a lot.
There was indeed a lot for mobilizing, mostly before, you know, because the campaign offenses to finance during campaigns. So there wasn't during campaigns, but the preparation took a lot. The preparation really took a lot.
Wow, okay. At 28 minutes past 8 a.m., you are still watching the Mighty Drive show. I am still with Aisha and Dan, and we're talking about youth participation in politics. For those who have just joined us, welcome. You are at the Alternative Dig Talk. We are the Mighty Drive show, and we air every Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. You can feel free to take part in the discussion today, and we are talking, I've told you, youth participation in politics. I'm reading a couple of your messages here, and also you can call in live. We have 30 minutes to go, so feel free to call in live, interact with us, tell us what you think about the show, and maybe any question or any additional subtraction to what this gentleman and lady have been saying. And I'm seeing a couple of messages here. There is Nyanzi still says, secondly, youths have been defined as a frustrated, in brackets, in quotations, frustrated and excluded lost generation with little voice in political processes despite their demographic dominance. Banji naye babatwalanga abalinyivu frustrated and excluded lost generation timwe mwawaba mugendere ddala. How true is this assertion?
That assertion is 5,000% true.
Very
true.
Nyanzi must be feeling sweet.
The lately concluded International Youth Day, I had an opportunity to be hosted on one of the radio talk shows in my district, Kasese.
Yes, please.
One youth, she's called Wenge Dorothy, she's an activist. She defends the rights of women and the youth. When she defined who a youth was, I will not recall everything, but in her words, it was like, a Ugandan youth is a, when you're talking of a youth in Uganda, talk of a broke nigger, or use such a word, broke nigger, desperate nigger, someone who doesn't know what is ahead of him even, especially with the welfare. But what came up was the poor, the poverty, then the desperation. That's true. Since our leaders know it, that it's very easy to manipulate someone who's desperate. That's what I've done. That's what they're good at. And by the way, I will not say this is only in the NRM party, but also some opposition political parties do the same. The leaders will not empower the youth so as to keep them in a state that will make them comply to their needs. So even when they will come with a frustrating policy, you will just go in. Why? Maybe it's the source of the little income you thrive on. Maybe expect connections also and so. So that's true. The youth are desperate.
There is one Tashan who's on Twitter who brought now this other his other ideology. He says the youth are typical mama's boys. They are stuck on their exes. They cheat. They cheat the most. They party and they have no plans. They entertain. I'm not going to say this what she said. They have no plans and are concerned about their PS4s, mixtapes, and weed. They don't know what they want.
That is not true. You see, that now the problem is the youth as people. Tuchimanyenti, I don't know if this is actually the right way to phrase it.
Yes.
The world is against us. So it is enough that they are against us. We cannot come out and attack each other.
Mulinga bali complacent. They're always just on PS4s and mixtapes.
But that is a problem. But you know that is the actual problem. Because if we are going to attack each other when everyone else is attacking us, because even our fellow youths, in fact, maybe I don't want to support them. Kuba another general. We need to take a stand together. Let's support each other. Let's bring each other up, because we're attacking disorganization. Actually, it is the problem I have with a certain political party. Disorganization to presenting a united front. As youth, so that batusanga twetegese nga we are organizing, it is difficult.
Aisha bavubuka bo begasse nekirabikanga mu abakulembeze bafe abaagaana okwegatta mwe abaagaana okwegatta fe bavubuka twegasse wansi ku ground twegasse.
The youths are not yet united.
The youths,
the leaders who are not united. You guys, for me, I'm always among young people on ground, and these people are united. They believe in change, but our leaders have their own. It feels like they have their own agendas.
The youths are not yet united. In fact, let me even give you an example.
Yes, Aisha.
For the youth election, you know how they elect youth leaders. They use colleges. What are they called? What are they called? Electoral colleges. The electoral colleges. Do you know how people get those votes? You go there with all your ideas. In fact, you go there with a solid manifesto. But this is what happened. So there were, I think, around 50 people who were supposed to vote. Ono gayinga koze ekintu kye awenjeza abantu, he has gone anonyeza kalulu. The last day is here. You know, these people actually even go and pick these people, their voters, from their homes. Na mobilizing and transport na baleta. Omanyi ba youth kye bamukola. Batuuka wali nga babawa emitwalo ebiri. This guy didn't, because this other girl, because it was a girl, she didn't even, you know, she teyanonya kalulu. Emitwalo ebiri nti asimba wali 9 gwempe ebiri.
Cash down. Atenga bikoleddwa nnyo.
This guy
has abasaidize wamwe nga baba 5 nga bali mu line.
Yes.
Line nga asimba. Which unit is that? What do you stand for?
But you talked about the brokenness. That is where it comes in.
But let us stand for something. Let us stand for something. Because if you don't stand for anything, you fall for everything. Because that is actually what they say. Youth, they will go for whatever you want. They'll go for whatever you want. That is why you're not seeing youth in big positions, because abantu abakulu bayina sente zabwe bagenda kuleta sente zawe bazitekemu, and they're going to go with whoever has them.
Dan, you wanted to say something. I'm seeing there's something burning you.
Ekyokogera nti ba youth basiba kupasa weed, booze, and
cheating. And there's a word she used that I'm not going to say. Just for our viewers.
That's true. Kasubira achikubye si mu youth. Ani baba mu youth. Even if it's a youth. That's a great observation. But you have to look at the root of everything. The youths fall in for anything financial. Why? They have not been empowered enough. And the government knows it, that once they are empowered, they will have liberal minds. Yes, kagenderere. Those boys, by the way, what we don't do as the youth of today, like I said, we are ignorant elites. We don't read enough. We think that maybe what they give in school is enough. We don't go ahead reading the hardcore knowledge. I'll give an example of one book, The Republic by Plato. If you think you're a leader and you have a trade, The Republic, then
Do leaders read in this country?
A leader should be a reader. And that's why,
I'm telling you.
That's why the regime is finding it easy to beat us, the youth. Why? Because they read. Remember, they went through school in the original education system.
Yeah, the education that was
so
actually.
They have the basics. You know the good thing with education, even when you're a fool, even when you're a goon, education can shape you.
Yes, true.
But the inner you, the original you remains in. That sometime the other goon will supersede. Then you find yourself.
When you say the rebels now come out.
Yes, come out. Then you find yourself using the education in the wrong perspective.
Okay.
So that's how government has been, that's how the regime has been able to manipulate us, the youth.
Okay.
They go ahead reading and they use these tactics and apply them. By the way, Uganda, we've experienced a lot of political theories. Just through one regime like this, but we've undergone through several political theories. And it beats my brain when most of the youth cannot observe that. Then second, when you go on drugs, drinking, cheating, what? Partying. There is a report I was watching on the BBC some time back when the war was intense in Somalia. And the report was claiming that Somalia's youth are the most happiest despite war. How did they make the statistics? That they are the most who go to clubs and bars. They are the ones who enjoy most the nightlife. In Uganda, my municipality, Kasese, is famous for parties.
You guys can party.
Yes. Do you know why?
Even in lockdown, you were partying.
Yes. Do you know why?
No.
Why?
These people, we've gone through a lot of trauma, wars, mass killings. So the people find it a way of soothing off their pain. They decide to go drink, go smoke, go.
But so that's what people do to just.
So that's why the youth today. That's why the youth today are so much into weed, into alcohol, into betting, into just to soothe and cleanse themselves from the worries.
Okay, you guys, we have like 15 minutes tops to finish the show. Let me first go through many comments we have here. This is Mr. Turiahabo. He says, could it be that the young people are actually sidelined because of the political monetization? Aisha could have been lucky to have had funders in her political drive. There are a lot of Aishas out there who really want to make political contribution and participate in governance. Shouldn't we be talking about systematic monetization as opposed to interests of young people in politics generally? That is a question he was asking.
That's a good observation. Right before you, Muhindo Dan, Muzora is my father. Back home, they call me Muzora because he's the superior. I had the interest of contesting as mayor of my town, the concluded elections. Why? Because I thought that even when I could not emerge a victor, my views would be heard. One of the views I have for my place is engaging into communal-based tourism and conservation compared to the traditional tourism and conservation methods. One. Second, investing much into the cyber world, the internet, technology. At least having one ICT leisure park in my town. Those are just a drop into the bucket of the ideas I had. But the sources of my funding would be, I had a business in Mukwana Arcade, shop number AG43. Nainawa Kadara Kengato. I was moving on. So when lockdown came in, business closed. That was my sole survival. As we. Then second, the second would be funder would be my sister. She's my cousin Mori. She's in the UAE. Naye yali agenda nga nze ngenda kola ku bya registration bichi. Then bwe tunagenda mu campaign trail ampeyo kuchi ka sente. Then I have sisters, brothers, parents who would come in to support. No business we have due to lockdown. Nga tewali ngeri je tusobola okubaawo, like era it was inevitable that I could not succeed with my plans. Secondly, my sister in the UAE yagamba dani mbero jiraba nange kiri bubi eno kiri bubi keni nawo nange I'm trying to survive and get out of the situation kukenina wakatono nemukade bwekityo nemuzeyi bwekityo ne system ya bwekityo. So I ended up sitting back and watch, and my ideas were buried, but that was not the end.
No,
and it has not been the end.
Let me cross to Aisha. Aisha njagala tusoke tuddemu omukulu ono oba commentinga kagambye. But the fact is, it's the NRM government initiative to keep youth out of political participation, because strengthening political participation by the youth requires, most importantly, addressing binding constraints, in brackets economic and civic, that impede their capacity to participate meaningfully in politics. This entails economic empowerment and addressing the underemployment or unemployment problem, as well as increasing youth participation in other non-political organizations in order to acquire the necessary civic skills for political engagement. Gagamba NRM chiringe akagenderere nti tebagala ku strengthening the youths. Do you think this is factual or onayali mu propaganda?
But to be honest, there is a lot of propaganda among our youth. And let us stop this blame game. Because if I don't even know if I'm intentionally or unintentionally defending NRM, but because if it was sidelining youth, there wouldn't have been youth election. By including the special interest groups.
Just for just.
Who knows? But they give them an opportunity to involve themselves in politics. Literally, you have a group specifically for you. You even have the National Youth Council. That is also another opportunity. What we should work on is, let's take interest in these things. Opportunity is there. You. Let us also stand for something. Actually, this is an opportunity for us to push our agendas. Because when the council and the youth representatives raise their hands, they talk, they take the opportunities. But then if you're going to sit back and point fingers, it's their fault, but you're pointing and you're not doing anything, this is not going to help you at all.
Waliwo wano omunyiivu bamuyita Brooke Williams agambe, we all agree that election and dialogue won't unseat the dictator. Then, natekako budots, civil disobedience is the way to go. Do you agree with this gentleman?
Definitely.
I agree 5,000%.
Civil disobedience.
Civil disobedience. But when you go for this civil disobedience, we don't mean the extreme. When you talk of civil disobedience, we should emulate good examples. We can emulate the Black Panther movement. We can emulate the struggles of the students in South Africa and the rest of the world.
Yeah, I remember.
The reason I call for that is we've moved a long way as a country. Our lifespan in the life, our times in the lifespan of the country is something very minor. Therefore, I request us not to be desperate to think of the extreme. Because when you think of the extreme, we are going back in the days of the so-called liberators. So we are going to again breed another generation of such leaders amongst us. But doesn't
it look like it's the only option that the young people are actually being pushed to?
Actually, civil disobedience, I'd also agree, is the way to go. Our constitution even allows us. It allows us, it gives us freedom to protest as long as you're doing it in an organized manner, go through the proper channels, get permission.
What are those proper channels?
Inform the police. Inform the police.
And
we are going to have...
And it will give you protection, you think?
It won't. It won't.
I've tried to talk to
the point here is to inform them, we are going to protest. Don't go and protest, destroy people's businesses, loot. Don't do that. Have an organized protest. It's not,
but
it's actually theoretically.
Sit down and they have been beaten. We've seen the doctors carrying placards, just carrying placards and walking. And they have been arrested.
Let us continue, because this is how revolutions have been, this is how revolutions have gone on. People have persistently and continued. Balemerako. So our constitution allows us to protesting peacefully. Civil disobedience is definitely what is going to help us sikutula netusirika. Anyway, the only other problem is the violence with the police. That is, I would say, inevitable. it's definitely going to. It's definitely going to happen. Naye oba tufune n'emikwano mu police.
Because I hear them saying that they want you to initiate. Bagalavu abantu mu mutandikewo kye mukkiririzaamu. Osanga bo bana bafulunga. Naye kasooke mpite mu message kuwonda bo budde bututwala. Ono Abdulatif agamba he's watching from Munyonyo. Thank you so much for watching, comrade. Yesterday abadde wano ne Gregory Mugisha Muntu. Then Twina Brooke Williams agambye PFT public debate is on alaba nagamba a person who said that Kabaka is dead still has listeners. Simanyi kino oba kiri relevant kitya. Nagamba it's true, majority of our people are ignorant. Nagamba those fake accounts zitwali twogerako were from Muhozi project. Nagamba NRA uses a lot of resources for propaganda. And then Ainebyona ye abera tulabira Lwengo agambye watching live from Lwengo. Thank you for the show. You're welcome for watching. Then the Red Card Front twegate twetaase tulumbe. Red Card Front yaji wagira. Nagamba thank you Gemma. Thank you Gemma. PFT is a transitional process and as soon as we resume soon we are resuming our activities. Then Adam Nagamba civil resistance, the system must fall. Then Onobamuyita Jeremiah Muchibi Yagamba ali mukutulaba live. Then kandabe messages kyali nyingi wano. Just a few. Onagambi the fact is Council Namugga ayogeranga eyalya. Council walya. Abana
Naliati.
Nabyo walya sirayiko ina okutira mu independence war. So guys, as we come to the end of the show, because we have like 3 minutes for, I want you guys to take like two minutes each, just give us the solutions. What should young people do? How should they take part in politics? I'll start with the gentleman, then I'll end with the lady. What are those solutions? How can we improve civic awareness of young people and even civic inclusion in the political gimmicks of this country?
Thank you so much. What we have to do as a youth is we have to realize that the old ways were not working. So it's upon us as a youth to forge a new way forward to solve our problems. Okay. Then second, we need to educate ourselves. Let's overstand, not understand. Let's emancipate ourselves mentally. Liberate your mental capacity. Become an independent thinker. Do research. Read. Take note of the kind of music you listen to, the kind of books you read. Don't let your brain be a dumping bin for anything. No. Censor what comes in. Think critically about it. Comment. Take the next step. I'm someone who loves books. I love books. I will recommend you to read the Black Panther, all books concerning the Black Panther. Especially, let's imitate Chairman Fred Hampton. Allen is my mentor in this thing. Okay. Then the music. Listen to freedom music, good music. I'll recommend reggae. Reggae is good music. Hip hop is good music. There's the message in it. There's the message in it. We need to liberate our brains from the dust, the trash coming in. We have to read. We have to be careful with what we let in. Then third, to some, but you think fact to some. That's the truth. Because if someone had read a book I read so many years ago, I was in senior 6 by the 2013, Reed and Grievous's Economic Agendas in Civil Wars at page 58. It was castigating the government in Kampala of the atrocities in Congo. So if you had read that book, so let's read. Nze kyengamba ba youth tusome. Ne principle wamwe gwe mukirizamu si wange. Wamwe gwe mukirizamu Kyagulanyi abaganti musome.
This hotel omulabanga atposting yo mfananyi ngasoma. Okumanya obwo butaba busomera ddala.
Tusome. Ne kano base ya tuganti tusome ne mukakwa tuganti.
Wala wagamba mbo amanyi kwe kumfananyi na butabo gwe bagamba. These are not my statements. But Council, what are the solutions that we can adapt?
My solutions are that first youth bane twegate tukole fenna. Let's stand for something. The other thing which I've really normally argued about with people is let's become part of the system. Because I believe that the easiest way we can change the system is becoming a part of it. Because if we are on the outside, from outside, to becoming a part of the system, to choose the mundanzi. No, see NRM ku government. Not necessarily. By the way, neyo endo was at JM nti kati government ye NRM. Kuba government bawadde chance ya opposition okujiyingira. Tuyingire. Oba tusobola ku associating with a political party yingira nganzi bira independent. System tujichusize munda banange. That's the easiest way we can change the system. When you're inside, learn the weaknesses that are there, sit, observe. Time is going to come to strike, and you're going to need to be situated. Awali strategic.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's high time we could simbula. Maybe to just add on the books, you should read The Audacity of Hope by Barack Obama. A very good book that shows a black man become the most powerful person in United States. It's not something that you find a black guy coming out of nowhere to become the president of the superpower in this world. So read The Audacity of Hope, read what he has told you, and thank you so much, Aisha, for joining us. Thank you so much, Dan. It has been a pleasure having you around. And thank you, Happy, for being on camera today. Arnold Mukose Anthony is the guy who is in the productions, and I told you, in case you just want to contact us, you want to schedule an interview, you want to live stream an event, you want to organize a book launch or anything, feel free to just contact us. Contact Mr. Arnold Mukose Anthony. His number is 0701-800-212, and he will be able to help you. And then Jeremiah Mchiri was also there, and Mr. Rogers, thank you so much, who has been the producer of the day. Thank you so much, guys. Everybody who has been watching from wherever and where and whenever. Thank you so much, guys, for always watching. People from UAE, it's a pleasure. I have Kamoga Franklin is there. I have Mutale Farouk Hussein is always there. Thank you so much for watching. People from South Africa, thank you. We have people from Congo, from Kenya. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for following the Mighty Drive. And remember, we are going to be here tomorrow, same time, same station. It is at The Alternative Uganda. That is on Facebook, Twitter, and all other social media platforms. You can also follow me on my social media platforms at Edgar M. Karuhanga. That is on Facebook, Twitter, on Instagram. I'm at Edgar Matthew K. I rarely use Instagram. I'm not on TikTok, so you cannot find me there. So it's strictly Facebook, Twitter, and maybe you can also dial in my WhatsApp. You can find it on those pages, and we can keep the conversation going. If you want to be hosted, feel free to talk to me and talk to anybody, or just DM The Alternative Uganda, and we shall be getting back to you in real time. Our next shows will be there. We have the Diaspora Link happening on Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m. Then we have the Voltage Show happening on Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. Then Snap Talk Show on Saturday. That is from 6 to 7 p.m. And on Sunday, we have Edisolio Mukuru happening from 5 to 6. And the Mighty Drive happens from Monday to Friday. That is from 7 to 9. And of course, the Hotline Show that happened yesterday, that is on Monday from 7 to 9. So thank you so much, guys, who have been watching me. Why am I still talking? Good morning, Uganda. See you tomorrow.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.